All right, let's get started. Manohar. So let me know. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's a Pramod. Hello. Hello.
Tirupati, can you see my screen?
Yes, Prabhat.
Hello.
Yes, Prabhat.
Okay. Thank you, man.
Can you see my screen? Tirupati, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Manohar,
Yeah,
can you
Pramod.
see my screen?
Yes.
Can one of you please confirm if you're able to see my screen?
Yeah, Pramod. Are we audible, Pramod, to you?
All right, so let me share the agenda for our topics, what we're going to cover today. Okay, so what I'm going to show you how to create a user and how to send browse, and I'm going to show you the function setup manager. Then, based on the timelines, what I'm going to show, I'm going to cover all these topics: location, creation, process, business units, item organization. Okay, then I'm going to show you how to create a vertex calendar and event recommendations. Okay, so let's get started. So user management. Okay, so let me open this Excel sheet. User management. Okay, now there are two kinds of users in cloud. Okay, one is implementation user. The other one is employee user. So implementation user is like, consultant, like us, who is responsible for configuring or implementing system. Okay? Who is responsible for configuring and implementing system. Okay, and will not be doing any transactions. Okay. Now employee user is the one who is sure employee in the company and performs transactions. Now in employee also you'll have two kinds of employees. One is super user and business user. Okay. So super user has more privileges or responsibility to configure something. Okay, and once the project is gone live, right? So they'll be taking care of the configurations or making changes to the setups, right? Now, whereas the business user is the one who actually does the transactions, like probably a warehouse operator or the buyer or a sales representative, sales manager, okay, or a financial controller or accountant or a manufacturing operator or production supervisor. So these are the users who actually performs transactions in the system, and they don't have access to configurations. Okay, it depends upon the role that they are playing. In case if they are like production manager, probably they have access to certain screens where they can go and create the configurations. Okay, so implementation user is nothing but a consultant like us who join the projects and performs all the configuration setups, design everything. Okay, and they don't have access to transactions. Okay, in real world, I'm telling you. Okay, so but before that, probably in case if you have to test, we'll add rules and we'll do the test. But once the implementation is completed, we will not have access to the transactional data. We'll only support, but we cannot create the transactional data. Transactional data is nothing but purchase order creation process, sales order creations, okay, or invoice creation process. Okay. Now data is of two types: transactional data and master data. Master data, you can call it as, suppliers, customers, you can see categories, or probably, items, something like this. Just for example, transaction data is nothing but all your transaction related data, like purchase order, sales order, invoices. Master data is nothing but your suppliers, customer, categories, and items. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to create a user and how to create an employee in system. Okay. Now, there are two ways how you can create a user. Okay. User. Okay. Now, you go to first, you can create a user and then assign employee. Or you can directly go to setup and maintenance and directly create employee user. And I'm going to show you two different things how to do this. Okay. Now, to create a user, okay, so what you need to do, you need to navigate to tools. Okay, you need to navigate to tools. Click on tools. Now, when you click on this tools, you see something called a security console. You see security console. No, I can't hear you, Manohar. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Pramod.
Yes, yes, Pramod.
I can't hear you.
Yes. Yes, yes, Pramod.
You're not audible. Can you please check your mic?
Yeah, I am able to hear. Yeah, Pramod.
Am I audible now, Pramod? Hello.
Can you hear
Hello.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Pramod.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay,
Uh,
sorry for it.
Hey, that's
Okay,
okay.
fine.
That's okay. No problem.
But you can hear me now, right?
Yep, it's clear.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Great. All right. All right. So you're able to see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So what we are going to do, I'm going to start with employee creation, user creation process. Okay, I'm going to start the second. Okay. Now I go to tools. This is where I have got my tools, and then click on security console. So to have this, I mean, to access this security console, all you need to have IT security manager. In case if you don't have that role, you'll not have access to the screens. So again, based on the role that you're performing, you'll have access. Now, in case if you're a consultant and if you're implementing the project, you'll have this access. The first thing is IT security console. Okay. So now this screen will have, the moment you come to this page, you'll see roles, users, analytics, certifications, user categories, and API authentication and administrations. Okay. Now this is where you have, when you click on this will show all the roles. Okay, order entry. Let's assume I'm just clicking on this order entry. Anything that starts ORA, that is what you have to use. Okay, anything that starts with ORA, that is what you're going to use. Now this page, you can search roles, or you can create roles, or you can compare roles. You have all these options here. Okay, now if you see here, right? Now if you click on this expand towards, you see privileges now, which means these roles will tell you what are all the privileges that this specific role has. Okay, by displaying this. But if you click on users, it will tell you who are all the users, who are having this role. See, look, see if you see here, right? SCM, IMPL, promote, all these are the users who have these roles. Okay, there's a difference. So if you click on privileges, it shows all the privileges for this role. Okay, now if you want, you can also export this in Excel sheet. You can export all those privileges to an Excel sheet, just like this. Okay, now here you have an option. When you click on this button, it will tell you edit role or copy roles simulator. Okay, now in case if you want to create a new role, which is copy of this, what you can do, you can just click on this copy role and you can create a new role. When I click on this copy role, you can just select copy top role or copy role and inherited role. So when you click on this, it copies everything just like this. See this? Now the moment I click on copy role, it shows order entry specialist. Then last you see GSC suffix, something called as suffix. I'm going to tell you how this is created. Okay, now you can create a role manually, or you can use a copy functionality which will duplicate the existing role and creates a new role with the same privileges what you had previously. Clear? But it doesn't copy the users. You see the difference? It only copy the privileges and security functions, but it doesn't copy the users. Okay, now so we have a separate session on how to create a custom role, but for now, just think that this is just a placeholder where you create and manage roles. Okay, then you have compare roles. What compare roles will do is, in case if you want to compare order entry specialist role with some other role, let's say I'm going to compare with order manager. Let's say I want to see what is the difference between these two roles. Okay, now I click on this compare. What this will do, it will give you comparison between these two roles. See this? So if you see this green color tick mark, which means this privilege is available here, which is not available in specialist or order entry specialist. If you just click on this option, right, all means it shows everything. It shows everything. But if you click on this, see, some privileges are available in both the roles, some are not. Okay, if I click on only in the first role, which means what are all the privileges or policies that are in the first role, which are not in the second role, which is order manager, it will show like this. If you click on only in second role, which is anything that is in order manager, not in entry specialist, that is what it will show you. In both the roles, in the sense, what are the common privileges or functions which are available in both roles, it will show like this. Clear? You can export everything to Excel if you want. Okay, that's the option what we have. Now
Okay.
click on okay. Now this is about roles. Okay, simulator. I'm going to show you what exactly is a simulator. For example, now I go to the home screen. Now you see lot of icons here on the home page. These are called as, it is called a springboard, and each icon represents some functions, or it represents that you're going to that user is going to perform some activity in the system. Okay, but how are these roles displayed? Okay, what is the role that is required to create this? Probably How is this? What role do I need to access pricing administrator or order management or global order promising? We have something called as simulate navigator. Simulate navigator. I'm going to show you what it does. When you click on simulate navigator, it just displays like this icon, sorry, a page with all the roles or sorry, icons from the home page. Okay. Now what I'll do, let's say for example, for me, I want to understand to access this pricing administrator, what role do I need? Or order management or global order promising. I scroll down and I go to the specific, see this order management, pricing administrator, order management, global order promise. I just click on this order pricing administrator. Now it says view, you have an option, view roles that grant access, view privileges required for me. View roles. I click on this view roles. No, it does not. Okay, if it is order management, it will tell me what roles are required. If I have one of these roles, order entry specialist, then I can access this order management. Clear? This is one shortcut probably you can see. In case if you want to know what role is required. Same thing, global order promising.
Okay.
If you see here, right, it will tell me order promising manager, okay, or order promising tutor. Okay?
Yeah. Actually, I have one doubt. In RTOL or EBs, right? We have an
Right.
opportunity, right? We have a forms and all. You know those. We will create a responsibility and we will assign response forms to menus to responsibility and all, right? Do you
Correct.
have that kind of facility here as well? We can
Okay.
customize that responsibility and all, right? Whatever role you showed me.
Correct. So now come when you compare with EBS, I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in EBS, I'll tell you how it works in EBS. In EBS, what you do, ideally, you create a role, custom role, then you add the privileges. I mean, in it, which is nothing but you call it as responsibility, right?
Yeah, it's a responsibility. For responsibility, right, we will have menus. Menus will be
Correct.
attached. What
Yeah,
are the
you have menus,
forms in
then
it?
you have menus and submenus.
Submenus.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
You have menus and submenus, and you restrict what menu, what submenus you want to privilege. On top
Yep.
of that, you can still you can restrict it.
Yes.
What you can control using form persuasion or this itself.
Yep.
Now this you assign to the user. Basically, you assign this to the user. Okay. Now in Oracle, what it happens is in Oracle, you don't have anything like responsibility. You have it's called as a role. It's just a terminology difference. It's called as a role.
Okay.
Menu and submenu is nothing but privileges and functions. Privileges and functions. Using this, you can control who can see what data or what forms he can access.
Okay.
Then you assign this to. Okay. So what we'll do after completion of this, we have a separate session for custom role creation. So I'm going to show you how to create one custom role where the requirement is create a role. It is like view only sales orders, which means the moment I give access to this role, users can only view the sales order, but they cannot create, they cannot update. That's a requirement, simple requirement.
Okay.
Okay. So when you compare this with EBS, same thing. You can see these roles. If I open this one, right, edit roles. If I click on next, see access, apply holds, credential order, delete orders. These are all the privileges what you can do. In your in EBS world, we have something called as which we call it as
Menu.
menus.
Yeah, we will call it as a menu. We can assign it to menu. Even under menu, we have functions as well.
Correct. So in menu also you have sub menus and you also have functions.
Function. Yep.
Which will control what you can access at what level you can access.
Yep.
Similar here, You have privileges and function policies. That's how you can control. And what you can access at what level. Those are all a part of your role itself.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Now I'm going to show you how to create a simple user. Okay, now click on this user. Here you have options: inactive, active, logged, unlocked user, which means in case if you already have users and if you want to search, you can search them. Okay, or in case if you want to create a new user, you can click on this add user. Again, you have compare users. First, we'll create a user, then we'll do the comparison. We'll see how it really works. And click on this add user account. So the moment you click on add user account, you'll get this screen, associate person information or add user screen, where you're going to enter the user. Let's say, for example, I create, let's say Manav. Okay. Now, wherever you see star, that is mandatory. Star denotes mandatory, which means you need to make sure you enter that field. Without that, system will not allow you to proceed further. Okay, so I'll enter Manohar. See, why we need email? Because it's for notification purpose. Or in case if you want to access something using email, then we need this one. Phone number, optional Manohar. So password, welcome 123. Welcome 123. Okay. Now I click on add roles. Okay, I click on add roles. So here we have options: users and roles. First, let's say for example, I want to add one simple role, IT. So make sure you enter at least 3 characters. Space is also considered as 1 character in Outlook role. Now, if you see IT space, then it displays everything. I'm going to add this one, IT security manager. Okay. This is a copy, this is the actual role. So make sure you select the right role and click on done. Oh, save and close. But in case, let's say for example, you have a requirement. Okay. Now let's say for example, sales. In that sales team, probably you have Manohar here, who is working as a manager. Now you got 5 people, 5 sales reps. Now all of them have got same access. Let's assume same access, same roles and everything. Requirement is, whatever the role that one person has, that should be the same thing for rest of the people. Okay, let's say for example, we got, let's say Pramod, who is having sales rep roles. Now what you want, rest of the 5 members, 4 members, they should have the same roles. Rather than manually creating, what you can do, you click on add role and you click on users, which means you're copying you're copying or simulating the same roles what the existing user has and giving access to this user. So now I select, let's say Pramod, and click on search. Now I click this user, add role membership from user, which means the moment I click on this, it says 309 roles were added, which means Pramod has 309 roles. The same roles, all those roles will be copied to this new user. Is it clear?
Yeah, bro.
That is how it works. So I click on save and close. I click on save and close. This is how you create a user, a simple user. This user is an implementation user because you have created this from security console. Okay. Hope you got the access to pod. Is it right, Manoj?
No, bro. I didn't.
Okay, so I'll ask the admin to give you the access.
Sure. Thank
Okay. Once you created the user, in case if you want to compare, you can just click on this compare user. Let's say I'm going to compare this. Let's say the first user is Manohar. Okay. Oh, because we just added 9 roles, right? So it shows we are going. It takes time. Let me search one more user. Okay. Okay. Then the second user, I'll see what will say about. I select two different users and I click on compare. Now see this? Just like the user comparison what we did, right? So here we are comparing two different users. What roles these two users have or what not, or okay, in comparison. Now if you see, right, same thing, only in the first user, second user, and both users. This will tell basically, what roles this specific user has, and you can export this data. Okay, in case if you want to compare what's the difference between these two users, you can do this. Okay. Now user categories. I'm going to click on this. If you see here, right, initially when you created a custom role, it was giving some sort of suffix GSC, right? That is where it comes here from this setup. Okay. Now, if you click on the details, right, user category default, it shows now, whenever you create a new user, how you want to create it. Is it the first name and last name or last name and first name? How you want to create it? This is something you can create it. Probably this option is also available in EBS, I guess. Okay.
Yep.
Right. Generate system user when generation rule fails. Okay. Now, this what happens, in case if the system fails to generate a user, how you want to generate the user account. This is how it works. Password policy, same thing, in how do you want to have the policy expiration. Basically, this is a explanatory. Okay. Notifications, ideally it will send you the notification. These are the templates. In case if you forget the notification, what template it will do. I just click on this forget user. These are all seeded. We are not going to touch anything. We are not even creating anything. This is just a notification which will tell you. In case if you click on the forget user template, this is how it displays. Dear first name, last name. Okay. Then users. Okay, this is how it displays the users. Okay. Now you have something called as administration. Okay. Now if you see here, right, role, when you created a role and when you created a copy function, right? When you have created a copy new role, right? We got some suffix. This is how it displays it. You can create this. You can add whatever you want. Copy, role, name, prefix. If you enter, let's say, for example, TST, which means whenever you create a new custom role using copy functionality, prefix would be TST, suffix would be GSC.
Okay.
So it
But
works.
okay, but why do we need this kind of things?
Okay, I'll tell you. Okay. Now let's say, for example, whenever you create an implementation project, okay, whenever you want to, when you create implementation project, it is a best practice to, add a prefix to your existing roles, which means when you create a custom role, let's say order entry specialist is your seeded role. Okay. Now you have a new role which will tell you that, it's only view sales order only, which means this is a custom role. This is a seeded role, this is a custom role. Basically, it is for identification purpose.
Yeah, got it, Pramod. Even in EBS also we will do the same thing only, right?
Yes,
While
you
creating a
put like
new, yeah.
this is
Not only
something
this one, we will come up with a company name, those kind of,
correct, correct. So it depends upon the company requirements how
policy.
they want to call it as. Okay, let's say for example, if in case if you want to call this as, let's say for example, company name. Let's say for example, there is a company MNX. Okay, sales order, which means this will tell me that we have a custom role MNX. This is not a seeded. Looking at this, I can understand this is a custom role. Basically
Yes.
for identification purpose. Okay, it is a best practice to always, to create this, because in case tomorrow if you want to run a report to show to see what are all the custom roles that you have created, this is how you can identify. If you just create like this, right? If you created a role like this, okay, view sales order only, and if you create one more custom role like this, probably you have a condition, you can identify by MNX. You can do, but if it is like this, you cannot even identify it.
Yep.
You don't know if it is a seeded role or a custom role. That's how it works. Okay. Good concept. Okay. Now the next one is I'm going to show you how to create an employee user. Right now we have created an implementation user. I'm going to show you how to create an employee user.
Employee.
Okay. Correct. So in what do you call in EBS, what you do, you just create, you go to the security and probably, you manage users and enter the first name, last name, and you create it, right? And pull up the employee there. First, you create the employee from the HRMS and come back and link it, right?
We will assign it to same user.
Correct. Similarly, here also, you can do this one. You go to setup and maintenance. Now, make sure, to access this page, you need application implementation consultant. I mean, there are other roles, but in general, as a consultant, we use application implementation consultant. When you have this role, you can access this setup and maintenance. Now you see all these offerings: manufacturing, financials, or procurement, and order management, and everything. Depends upon your implementation, right? In case if your company is implementing only manufacturing, probably you'll just enable that option. In case if your company is implementing only procurement, probably what you'll do, you'll enable that option. Go to actions, go to offerings, and enable this option. In case if you don't enable, then system will not allow you to perform the configurations under that. Okay. Then you click on the opt-in features. This is where you will control what you are going to implement. Okay. I click on this opt-in features.
Praveen, actually opt-in features means like this is for the new implementation or like this is
Correct. It's for a new implementation process. Okay. So which means, let's say, for example, if your company is implementing, if the client, you have a client, and currently what they do, it's a distribution company. Let's assume they buy, they sell products. There is one more company. Let's say this is client one. Okay, you have a different customer. Probably they are into manufacturing of products. They they buy raw materials. They sell finished goods, final product. You can say they buy the raw materials and they sell the final products. Okay, this is basically what they do, and they store. Okay, store inventory. This is what typically it is. Now, based on this, you can decide what modules you want to implement. What modules you need to implement. Okay, I'll remove this one. Now, in the first scenario, what you're doing, you're just buying and selling. You're not making any products. You're not manufacturing, or you're not creating any work orders, or you're not producing anything. So, which means typically, ideally, you need inventory management. You need inventory. You need procurement. You need sales. You need finance. But whereas here, you need additionally manufacturing. That's the only difference. Depends upon the nature of the implementation and the customer, you're going to enable the options. Clear?
yeah.
Okay. That's how it works. Any questions?
No problem.
Okay, great. Now again, here's something called as new features. See, Oracle, whenever they launch new product releases, new versions, right? So what they do, that when you click on new features, it will be displayed like this. Everything. And this is new features, this is available features, future updates. You have 3 different options here. Okay. So you can enable some options which are available currently in use, or probably in case if it is a future updates, system will tell you in future. Changes in 2040. That's what it is telling you. What is available currently. In case if there will be a new change in future, it will tell you that there is a new feature coming up, probably in the next releases. Okay. So here you can review the new features. What are those features? And for all this, you can have documentation also, Oracle repository. Okay. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to create a user. You just joined Siddharth, or you've seen how to create?
No, actually I joined at 8:30. Like
You
I
joined
was
it.
at some other place, so sorry.
Okay, fine. No problem. I'm going to navigate here and I'm going to say manage users. You can search manage users. Again, you have different ways of searching for a task. If you know the task, directly you can go to the offering, search the task. If you don't know the task, what you can do, you just search here. Search task, click on OK. Then what it will do, it will tell you where exactly is this. Now, if I click on all, so here, if you see, right, manage users. But on the top, you see users and security, which means this falls under users and security functional area. These are all your functional areas on my website. These are all my functional areas. Now, if you click on user and security, this is where it displays. If you know the navigation, you directly click on the function area and navigate it. If you don't know that, just click on the manage user task. It will display here. Okay. I click on this. So again, we have few options about implementation project. Can't copy all these functions. Once I create the users, I'm going to show you that also. Okay. Manage users. Now you'll get this option, search person. Search person. Again, most of the pages you'll have this question mark, which is nothing but the help icon. When you click on this, it ideally takes you to the documentation page. Okay. When you click on this, you'll get this pop-up and you can review the documentation. Okay. Now I click on this plus sign. Now, in case if you know the username, if you want to search an existing user, you can just click on this keyword and you can search like this. It displays everything for you. In case if the user has image, it will show that image. Okay. And you also have this advanced option. When you click on advanced, you get more search criteria where you can search the users or persons. Basically, this is a person or an employee from here. It can be department, it can be job, it can be country, it can be name or email ID. Okay. And you also have additional fields like this. In case if you want to search, you can use this one. Okay. But again, wherever you see star, which means you need to fill at least one field. Single star denotes it's mandatory field. 2-star denotes one of the fields you can enter. You don't have to enter all these search criteria fields. Either you can enter keywords or you can enter job or any one of them fields. That's the difference. Okay. Now you can also click on save. What this does is, this is like a fold search criteria option for you. Okay. Now next time whenever you come, you can when you click on set as default, right? What it does, next time when you come to the screen, it displays everything like this for you. Okay, with this, whatever the options that you have enabled. Okay, or probably, in case if you want to, let's say for example, I'll use one option. Okay. Finance US. Search. I'll see if I have any user. Okay, now these are the users. Now I click on save. I'll show you what it does. Set as default, run automatically, and click on OK. Yes. Now I click on done. Now I come to the screen, manage users. See, the moment I click on advanced, see, it already showed finance users and it already showed me the results here. See the difference? Which means, let's say, for example, every day you do some recurring task and you do some search criteria. So rather than every time filling the information, right? So you can create your own search criteria and you can create that as you can save it. And next time when you come to the screen, it just displays everything for you. This ideally helps you probably, in case if you're searching order, sales orders or inventory or purchase orders. Okay. So when we actually go to the screens, I'm going to show you there also how this functionality works. But to give you an understanding how this works, this is just a search criteria, where you can save this search and system displays everything for you. Okay. Clear?
Yeah, bro.
And you can also reorder this, rearrange the fields. Let's say, for example, you have keywords, department, job. So if you want, what you can do, I can just rearrange this in such a way that, I want to have name on the top. First is name. Okay, then probably I want my primary email ID. Okay, next. Then department and job. Click on OK. See this? Now you can rearrange these fields. Okay, so in seeded, you have a different way, but in case if you want to rearrange those fields based on your requirement, you can still do this one. Okay, if you click on reset, what happens? It will just remove everything and it will take you back to the original state. Okay, okay, that is all about your search. Now I want to create a new user. What I'll do? I click on this plus sign. Here you have options. Okay, plus sign, show fields, sort by. In case if you have results displayed here on the search results, you can sort. Basically, this is for sorting options. I click on this plus, and this is where I'm going to create a user, employee, basically. Okay, Manohar. Okay, let's say now wherever is the star, that's a mandatory field. Okay, title, that's a master. Here I can say dot tst grade. Okay, and it is not when you are when this person has been hired. Okay, but again, I'm just showing you how to create a simple employee user from the managed setups. But in case if you have an HRMS, right, this is where you actually navigate new persons. So in every project, you have implementation consultants, and one of them would be probably your SCM consultant, finance consultant, or HRMS consultant. That they'll be HCM consultant. They'll be responsible for all the onboarding of employees, employee creations, departments, jobs, and positions. Okay. But for now, I'm just going to show you how to create this. Okay. Now you have two options here: enter username or link user account. If you want to create a new user account, you can still create it. Okay, like just copy this and paste it, or you can create your own user account like this. Or if you want, you already created a user account. If you want to link it, you can still do this like this. Search, click on OK. Clear? It's like,
Yes.
first you created a user, now you're assigning it. But if you don't want, you can create a user manual also. Okay? Those are your two options.
See, Praveen, tell me one more thing. Here it is that the enter username and the linked user account, right? So very first time when we are creating that user, so it is like enter username and then I have to provide all these like first name, last name, everything, right? So if it is that the link user account, please go up, scroll up. Yeah. So if it is that the link user account, then no need to pass this personal details, right?
No,
Or
that is what I'm telling you. In case if you are creating a link user account, which means you already created a user account initially. Okay, I'll show
yeah.
you. Okay. We just created a user like this initially. We just created a username, Manohar, and we just gave first name and last name. But what we are trying to do here is this is just implementation user, which is not associated to a employee. If you open it, see there is no person name here on my right side. See here, but if I search for one more user, I'll show you how it displays. See, there's a worker name, worker person name, number, business unit, job, everything is the associated worker information is available. But if you see previously, Manor doesn't have associated worker information. We just created Manoj as a user. Now we are assigning it. If you don't want to assign, if you want to link, create a new user, still you can go ahead and you can create this. Okay, that's the difference. Now, whatever you create here, that will cascade to that user account. I'm going to show you both. Now, how this works in real time. Let's say if you are an implementation project, probably you'll have 100 users. 100 users. They're all from manufacturing department or finance department or purchasing department or sales department. Let's say 100 users. Initially, what you do, basic users, okay, consultants will be manually created. Manually, they'll create it. Okay, super user will create manually implementation user. But all these 100 users, if you want to create, we use a spreadsheet. In that spreadsheet, we give first name, last name, job, department, supervisor, who is the supervisor, location, and expense. Everything we give this information, this spreadsheet, and we load it. What this spreadsheet will do once it loads, it creates employees and it also creates user account. Clear? In real time, this will be done by SCM consultant. As part of data conversions, what they'll do, they'll create a spreadsheet. In that spreadsheet, they'll enter all the 100 employees and they'll run it. They'll make sure they've captured all the first name, last name, email ID, and all the data, and they run the or load it. Okay, when they upload the data, system will create employee. At the same time, system will also create user account, depends upon the configuration that you do. Is this clear? You don't have to manually create the employees, manually create the user account. In case if you want to manually create, this is the process. If you want to bulk load, you also have the spreadsheet, which will be done by HCM consultant. Is clear or any questions?
No. All right, Pramod.
Okay. Now send username and email ID, which means now the moment username and password is created, Manor will get an email saying that this is the user account. Okay. Now I'm going to select this as employee. US1. For now, let's just think that we are assigning the legal entity and the business unit. Okay. In case if you have a job, what is this specific user does? Search for job manager. I'll just click on manager. Grade, if there is a grade for a job, you enter this department. Let's see if you have sales. Okay. Sales. Okay, these are all configurations, and I'm going to show you how to do this also basically. Okay, then I click on save and close. So what we just did, we just created one employee user and linked with the user. Now I go to this user and see this. Now system displays the worker name, person number, job, everything. Did you see the difference?
Yeah, Pramod.
Yes, Pramod.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you one more thing.
And Pramod, what about password? It didn't ask for some standard password, and we haven't checked over there that the send email notification to
Correct.
that.
So because see, I mean, we are doing this test. That's the reason we have not enabled that. Or
Yeah,
else
but
what you
but
do?
the thing is, see, this is the standard process. We have to check
Correct.
that, right?
Correct. So in general, what happens, right? It will say whenever user is created, right? It will send the username and password with the link where user will first navigate and they'll reset the password by themselves.
Admin will not get that those password.
No, they'll not get the password. The system will generate the password and send it across. But in case if you want to reset the password, as admin, what you can do, you can query this user, click on this reset password, and you click on manually change the password and enter the password here.
So okay, this time it won't ask for the old password.
Correct. Correct. So you can reset the password. Now, if you
Fine.
see here, right, this email got displaying. This email is displaying from this employee. See this? Whatever we created. Clear? So now, what is the difference between implementation user and employee simple user? Sometimes, let's say for example, you don't want to give access to this is my user account. This is my a simple employee. Okay, let's say here you have Pramod. Pramod works in the company as a warehouse operator, or I can say forklift operator in the warehouse. Basically, his department is warehouse or warehouse management, or I'll say logistics department. Okay, let's say for example, you have Pramod who is working as a warehouse operator or forklift operator and is into department called logistics. Okay, now he is an employee. He is actual full-time employee of the company. Okay, but he doesn't access use Oracle. He doesn't have access to Oracle, which means he doesn't do anything in Oracle. He doesn't do anything in Oracle. He doesn't do transactions or he doesn't perform anything in Oracle, Oracle system. Okay. For that, he don't need user account. But in Oracle, he'll be created as an employee for payroll purpose. For the headcount of the employee payroll purpose, he'll be still created as an employee, but there will be no user account created in Oracle. Clear? Who needs user accounts? People who actually perform transaction in system, they'll be given user accounts in Oracle, or else no. But still, Pramod is an employee of the organization. His employee record is maintained in the system, but he will not have access to Oracle. So there is no user account. Is it clear? You got implementation user, employee user, and employee and user account. Implementation user is the one who actually implements system or configure system. Like us, consultant, you can say. Employee is the one basically his record is created in system, but it doesn't perform anything. No transactions, no user account, or employee and user account, which means employee is created, user account is created, and roles are assigned based on his use. Is this clear? Is this clear?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give a classic example. Probably, if you have, let's say, for example, you have a person who recently joined a company and he needs a laptop. He needs a laptop. Okay. Now, what HR will do? They'll create a request saying that, let's say, I can say Pramod needs laptop. He needs a Dell laptop. Let's assume. This is just a request they'll create. They can say a request or requisition, you can say, saying that, Pramod needs a new laptop because he recently joined the company. But Pramod doesn't work on Oracle system. It doesn't work on an Oracle system because he is into sales and marketing or a forklift or anything. So he'll be created as an employee in system and he'll not be given no role, no user account in Oracle. That's it. But when they create a request in Oracle, what they'll do? Requester Who requested? This is Pramod. So they'll enter this name, Pramod, as a requester. Clear?
Yes, Praveen.
Okay. This is how in real time works. What's the difference between, see, most of the times what we get these questions, what's the difference between all three different users? See, again, you don't see any terminology like implementation user as a task in system. There is nothing like, implementation user task. But, in general, how do you classify, categorize the user accounts in real-time implementation project? This is all I'm telling you. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay, there might be one more scenario I'm telling you.
Praveen, sorry for interruption. See, implementation user, you said it is that the implement system, config system consultants. We are like the
Correct,
implementation user,
correct. Just like
right?
you
But the
and me.
thing, let's suppose, okay, and this user will have all these access. Roles has been assigned and the user account has been created in the Oracle. Everything will be there, right? For this
Correct,
implementation user or no?
correct. So
So
implementation
what's the
users.
difference and what's the difference between implementation user and the employee or the user account?
Okay. Now let's say, for example, yours, yours, you're here, Siddharth. Okay,
Mm,
and 1 hour. Now there is a company who's implementing Oracle Cloud.
mm,
Okay, you work for a company. Let's say, for example, you work for ABC Consulting Services,
mm,
and you are a SCM consultant.
mm.
Okay. Now
Ah,
this we have a customer. Let's say XYZ traders. They want to implement or receive. Now your company has deployed in this project, and you are responsible for implementing SCM
mm,
implementation. Okay. Now
mm,
what your role is? You do the design and you do the implementation or configure the system. You configure the system. But typically, when during the implementation project, you have all roles, full access to configure, set up, or perform transactions to check whether everything is working or not. Perform transactions. So these are all in a test
so,
day, test. No, no, let me complete. Okay, test environment. Okay, but
mm,
when it comes to production, once the project is live, you will not have access to any of the transactional data. All you can do, you will have access to only setup.
mm,
Okay, so in case if you want to review something, change the setup, then you'll be having access to setups, but not the transactions. You cannot create a purchase order, you cannot create a sales order. Okay. Whereas
mm,
the implementation user, right, once the project is live, they are the actual people who are going to do these real-time scenarios of creating sales order, creating the inventory, creating the purchase orders, creating the suppliers, creating the customers, creating items. Those are all the tasks that will be performed. The
right.
difference between implementation user and
So it's a
implementation,
kind of super user.
correct. No. Super user is different. Super user is nothing but, let's say, for example, in XYZ traders, you have super user and business users, which means, see, technically what happens in real world, right? Once a project is live, you will support for 30 days.
Right.
After 30 days, you're done. You leave the project. You're no longer associated with this company. But in
Mm,
XYZ traders, they already have IT department. They have a finance department, sales department, purchasing department, right? In IT department, they will take the ownership and they will support the task, which means any setup they need, they'll perform. Any changes they need for setups, they'll do the setups. They are called as the super users. Basically, they have more privileges and roles compared to the business users. Business users will not have access to setting up anything. Clear?
got it. Got it. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. All right, guys. So I'll stop here. So I'll send you the link for pod. Try to create users and assign the roles and just explore the product. Okay.
Praveen, I would request to please create a WhatsApp group for all of 3-4 person.
Okay, I'll do that one then.
And one more thing, if it is possible, please share that the videos, recorded videos as well. So
Okay,
I'm
I'm
missing
not sure.
some.
Okay,
I'm
let me do one thing. Let me talk to that win and probably can do this one. Okay?
okay. Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Thanks, Siddharth.
Because
Thanks, Manor.
Yeah,
yeah,
thank you.
because
Thank you.